A long time ago in a land far away, Jesus took his 3 best friends up on a small mountain. He turned to Peter, James, and John, and he said, "Pray with me." You see, Jesus was thinking about the cross. It was getting close, and the humanity in him was terrified. He knew that he had to do this, but he knew that he needed more strength. He also knew that the disciples were going to go through the toughest challenge of their lives. And he knew that the secret to strength, the path to get through the pain, was prayer. And he said, "Pray with me." And so they did. They knelt down and they prayed, and they prayed, and they prayed. And they started to get tired. They started to get sleepy, and really, how long do we need to pray? I mean, God knows everything, right? He knows the burdens of my heart, and he's good. And one by one, the disciples got comfortable and decided to pray laying down, and their prayers got mumbled, and pretty soon they were fast asleep. And Jesus was all by himself. Except he wasn't all by himself. He was with his Father. And his Father gave him a gift. That the portal of heaven opened, and 2 more men, Moses and Elijah, stepped through the portal. And they knelt down next to Jesus, and they put their arms on his shoulders, and they encouraged him. They spoke about the victory that would be his. And I don't know when the light and the talking woke up the disciples, but they rubbed the sleep from their eyes, and they could not believe what they were seeing. The light was something that was so bright and so pure. And they realized from the conversation who this was. Moses, the lawgiver, Elijah, the prophet. Peter stammered and said, "Lord, let's build 3 tabernacles to commemorate this event." And then the voice of God spoke. He told the disciples, "This is my son. Listen to him." And then it was over. The disciples missed the first part because they were sleeping. The part where Moses and Elijah talked to Jesus about the cross and about encouraging him. And as they walked down the mountainside, they were ecstatic that they had seen Elijah and Moses, but they missed a huge part that would have taken away so much pain when they saw Jesus on the cross. If only they had prayed just a little bit more. Now, I don't tell you this story to guilt you into praying more or to spend tonight without sleeping praying the whole time. But there are seasons of our life when God calls us to pray. When he says, "Come, be with me." And in those seasons of life, it's just like when you run or exercise. At first you get started and you're going slow and it's okay, but there's always a wall that we hit. A part where our body just screams, "Stop, you can't do this anymore." And the runners know that if they push through that wall, the people who hit the gym know that if they just go a little bit more, the wall disappears and they find a second wind. And I believe that if the disciples had pushed through that wall of sleep and they had just prayed a little bit longer, they would have found their second wind. And they would have been wide awake and focused and praying when heaven opened up and 2 men stepped onto the earth. So the next time you hear God calling you to come and pray, I guarantee you're going to hit a wall. But I also guarantee you that if you push through that wall, if you keep praying, you'll find your second wind. You'll find that blessing that God called you to. And who knows? Maybe you'll see Moses. Maybe you'll see Elijah. Or maybe you'll hear the voice of God. Share this with someone who needs to hear it today. Have a great day, and remember, God is good and He loves you very much. He's got this. God bless.